Love's got a hold on my heart. Watching you dance is the best thing. Or trying to dance, I should say.
Trying? Hey Eurovoxers, Andy and Jess here, and we are here to talk about Steps and the UK. Jess, there's been a bit of news this week.
Yeah.
The rumour mill has started very early, as it does every year. Tell us more about the rumours at the moment.
Yeah, so what I've heard is a very short piece that I read in the Metro newspaper from the UK, which said that Steps, or at least some of the members of Steps, were quite interested in singing at Eurovision. And from what I've read as well, boy band Blue, who sang for us in 2011, have also been talking with Steps about kind of, doing Eurovision and kind of trying to persuade them to do it. And I think also on the individual members of Steps Twitter account, some of them have kind of mentioned Eurovision as a possible thing. But that's all I think we know so far.
Now, I know that you're a huge Steps fan, and this has got you very excited.
It has.
I said rumour mill. I think it's very soon after Lisbon. Dare I say it, are they just trying to jump on something that's been recent? We've heard this before. And I'm sure that they were kind of throwing themselves into the mix last year. Coming from a big Steps fan such as yourselves, what are your thoughts on the potential of Steps representing the UK?
So I know that a lot of people kind of are saying that they're like a has-been, and they're kind of so 90s, and why should they do it? But if their recent comeback is anything to go by, why shouldn't they do it? I mean, they've released, I think, 2 or 3 albums within the last couple of years. They've been on tour, and their new stuff, I have to say, not just because I'm a fan, but I have to say I think it's really good. And I think compared to their kind of heyday in the 90s, they've obviously grown up a lot more and matured a lot more. And their sound, the same, has kind of matured with them. And so I do think that it could potentially be a good thing them singing for us, because I think they would bring the fun to the stage, and they would bring, they wouldn't be, they would just kind of, if you kind of look at their, history of their songs, that we're going to get a big up-tempo kind of poppy dancey number in true Step style, and I personally don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah,
to be honest with you,
I think the jury would be out on this. I'll lay my cards out on the table now. I was a massive Steps fan back in the day, that I was so excited when they reformed. I think, was it like 6 years ago when they did the kind of the documentary? 2012. Loved watching that. Glad that they kind of healed the rifts that were in the group. They came back with a Christmas album, I think, that I didn't think was that great, but it was great to see them back together. Then last year they came back with the most recent album, Scared of the Dark. What an amazing comeback. And these guys know how to make a comeback. They know how to sell out stadiums, and they know how to appeal to the older generation who were fans back in the day, like myself. And I think back in the day, Steps would have been an amazing choice.
Oh, definitely.
For Eurovision. I'm just not so sure now, and I'm not denying that they're fantastic performers, they're a lot of fun. I just don't know if they're what the UK needs to move our participation forward and start bringing back, hopefully some top 10 results. And I don't like using the word has been. And that was banded around a lot with people like Bonnie Tyler and Engelbert Humperdinck, who didn't bring great results for the UK. And I was happy that the UK or the BBC had stepped back from selecting these kind of older performers who they thought would get a good result just based on the name. So in terms of Steps going to Eurovision, I think it is unlikely. First of all, I think this is just a bit of spin. I wouldn't not support it. If they were selected, you know, it would have to be with a song as good as Scared of the Dark, which was an amazing comeback for them and a great pop track. So that's my thoughts. You know, huge fan of the guys, great at what they do, but stick with what you're doing. Don't then try and take it to Europe, because I think it's too late for that now.
But then again, I mean, if you've ever seen them on tour and if you've seen them performing in kind of like big arenas like that, I think from watching that just proves that they could do well at Eurovision and that they could be the perfect people to get up on that stage in front of millions of people and smash it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't deny that they would give a great performance. I think that's not the issue that I have. I just think they're not edgy enough, and I think the UK needs something edgy. 20 years ago, it would have literally made my day if they went to Eurovision. But now I'm not so sure.
Well, each to their own.
Are you still going to talk to me after this?
Of course, of course.
But it'd be great to see. We asked our followers actually what their thoughts were, and we had some responses. So let me just get them up here. So Jordan from Twitter, they've proven in the last year they can sell albums and tour and are as popular as ever. I don't disagree with that actually. In the UK though, he says, as for Europe, I don't think they would do as well as hoped. Darren on Facebook, I love them. They would be fabulous for Eurovision with the possibility of doing well. I don't think they would agree to participate. UK fans can dream on. I think there would be a lot of support from the UK fan base though for.
I think so. But then like Jordan said, I mean, even back in their heyday, I don't think they were that huge across Europe. I think it was more based in the UK. So
yeah, and that might be a problem if they were ever to go to Eurovision. Jess, I think you've got a couple of comments from some of the Team Eurovoxx members.
Yes, I do. So the first comment comes from Elliot, and he's not so on board with the idea, and he basically said it was an awful idea. And he goes on to say that when the UK has tried with an act from yesteryear, it's backfired amazingly, so why would this be any different? Which, you know, fair enough. I guess I could understand where he's coming from with that. And then we've got Chris, who has said, could be worse, it could be Scooch.
That's true, very true, Chris.
With no offence to Scooch, we all know how that ended for us, so yeah,
we don't want another Scooch, and if Steps were ever to go to Eurovision, I wouldn't want them to go down the cheesy route and send a song that they think would be good for Eurovision, because I think that's always the UK's mistake. They just need to send a good track. So Jess, it sounds like you're for it. I'm probably more against it. Mixed views from followers and other members of Team Eurovoxx, and I think that would probably be consistent with views of the UK fan base. So guys, that is what we think, but what do we know? We would love to know what you think. Should Steps represent the UK at Eurovision in Israel next year? Are they going to take the UK back to the left-hand side of the scoreboard, or even the top 10, dare we say? Do you think it's a bad idea, maybe a step backwards? Don't forget to let us know in the comments down there what you think. Otherwise, follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe to our video channel on YouTube. Otherwise, we're going to say 5, 6, 7, 8 and out, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.